Ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday. What is up? Welcome to another episode of 8 Bits. I'm djWHEAT, joined as always by itmeJP. And we got a lot to talk about this week, a lot of cool games that have come out. And this happens all the time where you just are all over the games that I eventually will be playing the next week. I'm always like a week behind you, JP. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I guess I jump on the trends faster because I don't have anything else to play. I don't know. I don't know.
So how are things? How you been?
Been pretty good. I woke up to the silent alarm today. I'm still gotta figure that one out.
Yeah.
I don't know why it. I don't know. There's no vibration. There's no noise. I gotta figure out why my phone's doing that. It's kind of weird.
I wish I had all the answers for you, JP.
I know.
I don't.
Usually I come to you looking for answers, and you were stumped on this one as well. So.
I don't know why a phone would have a silent mode. Actually, that's a little.
I don't either. But yeah, apart from that, I was up late last night, partially because I wanted to play more. I recorded 3 hours worth of Baldur's Gate last night. I don't know why. It's like, I should play more than just like this 30-minute segment that I usually do like per day for YouTube. So then I played for about 3 hours straight, and that was till about 1 o'clock. And then I started watching Sherlock on Netflix. Have you watched Sherlock yet?
No, but it seems to be like the next new show that everyone's
talking about.
You got to watch the Sherlock. Yeah. So I haven't.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Start the spiel. Let's hear it.
It's all right. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about it. That's for sure. What's his name? Benedict Cumber. Even his name is just weird, right? He just has this weird look. I don't know how to describe it. The guy that plays Sherlock, the Benedict Cumberbatch
yeah,
or
the
whatever.
guy that was the bad guy in the newest Star Trek. He did a really good job. Benedict Cumberbatch, I think.
Yeah, Cumberbatch. Yeah, I thought it was Cumberpatch. Maybe
it's Cumberbatch. Or Botch, or I don't know how it's said. And it has Martin Freeman in it, who I actually love. I love this guy. He's awesome.
I don't know. Is that Watson?
Yes.
Is that who that is? Oh, okay. Yeah. He's pretty good. Was he in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Or am I just generalizing?
He's freaking Bilbo in The Hobbit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's where I recognize.
Oh, shit. Well, he didn't have hairy feet and wasn't 2 feet tall, so I didn't.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Acting-wise, they're pretty good. I think the story, like, it sounds like they're trying to stick more true to the books, and I'll probably get lambasted by the chat.
Oh, okay.
No, they're not, JP. You're totally wrong. But yeah, it's not bad. I like that. Like, each episode is like a fucking movie, right? Like, so far, the first 2 episodes I've watched have been like an hour and 30 minutes long.
And it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm watching it on Netflix. They also put Attack on Titan on Netflix. The first 25 episodes. I saw that last night.
That's all there is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Need to watch it.
Well, that was smart by them. It's a popular series.
Well, I think we'll jump off on this tangent here in a sec, but Netflix actually uses they look at like the most searched things on BitTorrent, and then they use that to throw it up on Netflix.
Interesting.
So they probably saw like 1 billion people trying to get Attack on Titan, and they're like, well, fuck, let's just put it on Netflix. Like, what the fuck are we doing? That's probably why it ended up there. That's probably why a lot of stuff ends up there, to be honest. But
they got some smart guys over there at
have
Netflix.
Some incredible smart people.
Yep. That recently actually making all the net neutrality stuff going on, saying like, "Yo, we and our users will revolt if some shit goes down."
Oh, really?
It actually feels good to hear, someone who I've paid like $12 to for the last. I mean, how long has Netflix been around? I can't remember, but I've been getting DVDs at my house for a longest time.
3 years. This is how long my sub's been.
Does anyone still get DVDs from Netflix and Blu-rays and shit?
No.
I wonder if people still do that.
Most people, I would think that's kind of shits it over to Redbox these days.
Yeah,
Is it
just because
Redbox? Is that what it is? That
yeah,
the one that
Redbox is the one in the U.S. It's literally a red box, and you get a movie from it. But the unique aspect of it is you can just like pick one up anywhere and drop it off in another red box. I could literally just pick up a Redbox title in Nebraska and drive down to Texas and then turn
yeah.
it in there, and it would still, like it would be all legit. Problem with
Yeah.
Redboxes, they've had like some real serious issues with fraud, and it turns a lot of people off the moment. Like people will, because
Are they
it's
putting like paper disc in there and stuff like
yeah,
you
the
used
way
to?
it works is it all uses a barcoding system, and then it like scans, and then they started figuring out that like, oh well, we'll do it by weight, and then wait and scan, but then like people just put disc with the sticker over the top of it, and they're like fucking ripping
Uh,
people off, man. It sucks. It really sucks. No, there's a few people that still get discs from Netflix.
oh, in the chat, huh?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you actually have to pay extra for that on top of your online. I think it's like an extra $3 or $4.
Yeah. Oh
Something.
yeah. Oh yeah. I think so. I think so.
They,
Uh,
most of the stuff they offer on Netflix, though, like streaming, you can like there's nothing that you can get through the DVD service that you can't get on Netflix streaming. I feel. Maybe I'm wrong about that, though. Maybe I'm wrong about
well,
that.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Probably maybe outside of the U.S. I
Yeah.
don't know exactly how that works, but I imagine they're. I saw a couple people in chat say, Netflix here or there is just shit. I love
Yeah.
Netflix. I use it on like 30 different devices all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
I understand why the ISPs are. You suck up all of our bandwidth.
Oh
Whatever.
yeah. Yeah. They I think they're also offering. They just turned on like Super HD, which I don't know what that. I think it's just like a higher bit rate HD. I think it's just
Yeah,
like 3,000
I've
bit
seen it
rate.
pop up every once in a while.
It pops up like my TV gets it. My TV,
Yeah.
like my smart TV gets it.
It also
And then
depends on, I think, what you're streaming.
right. That whatever you're watching has to have it. Like has to have that version uploaded. I think they're also doing 4K streaming pretty soon, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because that's a lot of fucking bandwidth.
Well, that would probably be a reason to actually think about getting a television like that, because right now I just don't know if there's any.
Oh, any 4K content worth it?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
there, but you gotta like kind of hunt for it. If suddenly it's like Netflix and Hulu are like, yo, hey,
Yeah.
it's happening.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice. But we'll have to see. Because before we get into our what we're currently playing, which will kind of segue into there. Last week I had a chance to go to In Exile and did a Wasteland 2 stream with the devs there.
Yeah. How was that?
First off, I mean, great group of guys. It's really, we've talked a lot about Kickstarters here on the show. We've talked a lot about the support and the whole concept of big developers or guys who were big in the development space coming back and taking a different route into game development. And let me tell you, from top to bottom, JP, this was like one of the coolest visits to a game studio I've ever been to. Because all the game studios I've been to in the past, you mark them off: Blizzard, EA, THQ, Sony Santa Monica. There's just been quite a few that I've been to, and
Right.
very often they all have this similar theme of like, it just feels like a game development company, which it's cool, but at the same time, like, the bureaucracy that goes on in the development of a video game. And I feel like you can feel it in some of those, in some of those places. And this was just like going into a not so flashy place, a bunch of people who are obviously passionate about making the game. Brian Fargo, who's like just undoubtedly one of the my role model anyway, from the early days of PC gaming and game development. And it just
Right.
had this like cool feel to it. And they were embracing the fact that like, hey, we don't have to report to some guy who's like, your game has to be done in 3 months and I don't give a fuck what state it's in. And you can tell that is how they're going. And that's a shaky road to walk, because if your community's not backing you, then people your game gets bad press. People don't talk about your game anymore. It's bad. But everything about Wasteland 2 has been great. We've talked about the game before on the show, but I think what is really took away from it is just how awesome the atmosphere and the process of game creation is, that they are a Kickstarter and that they don't have a publisher who is like, you have exactly 4 weeks remaining and then we're going to ship whatever piece of shit you've got. And they're excited about that. And the game is really great. So it's really, I'm just hats off to them. I'm really excited to see what they do from this point forward, and it was awesome to kind of experience. So,
how many people are on the team? Is it like 6, 7, or is it bigger than that?
So, I would say no, it's bigger than that. I would say that there's probably like 15 to 20 maybe people.
Oh, okay.
And I imagine when you go to, for example, go to like a development studio. Went to a big name one recently, and we went to their sound room, and we went to where they did mocap, and we did, and like I imagine someone's doing sound engineering somewhere else, But a lot of the story map, graphics creation, I believe that's happening where I went.
Ah. Interesting. And you also did I think the stream is archived and everything, right?
Yeah, it's over on the In Exile channel, and all we did was basically play through the game, which was cool because they showed me a bunch of shit that I missed, a bunch of stuff that had been added since the last update and last time I played, and we went through a different scenario than I had done when I ran through it the first time. So it was good that I had some like familiarity with the game, going into it. But it was pretty hilarious because they were confident that I was just going to get my ass kicked. And I've played a lot of tactics games. Like I play really passive in these tactics games too. And so that's what I did. But I got a really lucky loot drop early on where I found a grenade. And keep in mind, like, ammo is pretty scarce. So it was like really rare that I got this grenade, and I ended up using it in this battle that they were saying every time you die in this battle, this guy's going to take a tequila shot. And I never died. So, boom, keeping him sober.
There you go.
Keeping them sober. So, I guess they're just starting off with what we've been playing. But I played a little bit more Wasteland 2, and games coming along quite nicely. They were talking about the what's coming next in terms of what you're going to be able to play and stuff, and it's really exciting. So you still haven't checked it out, right?
No, it's still in like that. God, it seems like almost every game I play these days, it's like in this early access age where it's not done, and there's still a lot of stuff being added to it. So you should probably wait, but it's still out there if you want to play it.
It is true.
Yeah.
It's not like DayZ where it's like there is a story you're following, and then suddenly the story like stops.
Right.
That would be the biggest difference, or something like Rust, or in comparison, because I know people are going to be like, JP, you play DayZ like there's no, but this is different because you get to a point where like
there's a full-on story,
right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's why I don't want to play through it, because there is a full story to it. So if I don't like the story, then, if I do like the story and I played for 50 hours and then it gets dramatically changed gameplay wise down the line, we'll see. There was also what was it that came out this week? It was the new Divinity game.
Oh, really?
It's in early access right now. Divinity Original Sin.
I think
it's $40 right now to pick up.
So we're talking about the Divinity as in Beyond Divinity, Divine Divinity.
I think
What's
so.
What's it called again?
I just linked it to you in Skype.
Is it actually Divinity? Oh,
it's on.
I do see
it. It's Divinity
totally
Original Sin.
Oh my gosh!
So it's like Baldur's Gate. At least this is how I look at it. It's Baldur's Gate, but you can also play it co-op online, which I want to know how that works. But
so have they changed it from their other? Because the Divinity line, like, it's basically super story-driven Diablo,
right?
And every Divinity,
but it's all 3D, right? It's all like.
Oh yeah.
You control one character.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 2D. Like, let me go to the page. Let's check out some.
Because my experience with Divinity, although I've never played it, was that it was kind of Skywind-esque, where you're in kind of an open world-ish type deal, not like a top-down view.
No,
Am I wrong in saying
no,
that?
not yeah. Well, let's find Divine Divinity here, and then Divinity 2. So Divine Divinity was a game that like this was so crazy because I did not know that this game existed until someone in Epileptic Gaming like way back in the day was like, "Hey, if I send you this game, will you try it out?" Because of course, like still a Diablo 2 fan, and that's pretty much like how it went down and how it happened. Let me bring this up. But I played this game and was like absolutely shocked at how good it was for not knowing about it, I guess. And as we'll see here in a screenshot, like I mean, look at it. Even the fonts like borderline. And this was in the era where it was still all sprite based. So I imagine that they had one game before Diablo 3 that was 3D, and then Original Sin is full 3D. Oh, Divinity 2.
Okay.
Okay, people are saying that Divinity 2 was 3D, but I think it still had rendered backgrounds. So let's look at.
Oh, okay. That is very Baldur's Gate from
Yeah.
what you're showing. Sorry, I'm not catching up
But
on the stream.
you say Baldur's Gate and it makes me think of like stop combat, and you're not stopping combat. It's very much more like a dungeon crawler,
Oh, okay. Okay, interesting.
like
Because yeah, like
Diablo, and they're fun.
this one looks graphically looks very very well done. I haven't picked it up yet because I think what they put out is pretty much right next to alpha, but they're calling it beta. There is a lot of issues, so I don't want to play through it just yet. But it looks like a hell of a lot of fun,
Okay.
uh, and I'm definitely gonna pick it up.
I'm all right. So I was totally wrong. Divinity 2 was full 3D, but it looked like not the Diablo S. It almost looked like a Elder Scrolls esque type
Right, right. That's what
thing.
I was.
Okay. They made another one though that was the
Was that
Diablo
Dragon Commander?
style,
Oh no, Dragon Commander was it was like a weird RTS type deal.
or maybe it
Is
was.
that the same line of is that like the same IP? A Divinity Dragon Commander or something? Or am I
I
just
think it
totally
is the
mixing
same
shit up?
one. No, it
Okay.
is the same one. But
I've seen
we'll
like so many different types of games under this Divinity IP now that I'm thinking about it.
okay. Okay. Now people are saying that Original Sin is more tactics based, I
So
guess.
yeah, maybe it is Baldur's Gate.
Okay. Okay. So not necessarily the dungeon crawling style of Divine Divinity. Let's look at some screenshots. So this would be more like maybe Might and Magic.
Maybe, yeah,
Well,
maybe.
this looks like a Outer World type
It
thing.
looks fantastic. I love the art design. Um, the one cool thing too that I'm interested in it
Where's this turn-based combat, dude?
is that it with the dialogue options and what you can choose, you can actually
Here we
when
go.
you play co-op, I think it like votes. It takes your partner's votes into consideration or some shit like that. Like they're doing something unique with that aspect of it. So sounds like co-op is the way to go. And I think they just put that into the game this week.
It's almost like a. It's almost like a. I mean, I can't tell if it is like a dungeon crawl. It looks like by the screenshots that it's like a dungeon crawler, but what is this? It said turn-based, tactical turn-based combat. I don't know.
I don't know.
Interesting. And by the way, thank you, One Man Pizza, who said Beyond Divinity is the game I was thinking of. So you're gonna play this one?
I think eventually, yeah. It is $40 though. It's a little bit high in terms of these early access games. I guess what DayZ is 30.
Wasteland 60.
Wasteland at wow, Wasteland 60. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. That actually deters me from playing it a little bit.
Oh, look at you.
I might wait even longer.
That's,
No.
I'm sure that all your $60 Xbox One and PS4 games are all like, yeah, ha ha
Oh, you mean
ha.
those paperweights that where are those? I don't even know where I put those. Put them on a shelf and then burnt the shelf or something like that. Yeah, yeah. I'll probably play it eventually, but But anyways, what have you actually been playing instead of thinking about playing this week?
So, well, right. So, like, the obvious one is that I've been playing Octodad in my sleep, man. Like, I cannot wait for this game, and it's 5 days away.
Oh shit, that's 5 days away. Right.
5 days away,
What is
JP.
that next Tuesday?
5 days. Yes.
Is that coming out for PC or is it only?
5 days, JP. I can't wait.
Is it
It's
only
gonna be
PS4 or is it
No, I think I don't know.
PC?
Let's double check.
I think it comes out PC first.
I think so too. I could be wrong though. I could be the wrong. Uh, January 30th for PC.
Oh, that's next Thursday. That's like 6 days away.
What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fuck. 6 days away.
It's coming out on a Thursday. That's interesting.
They can do whatever they want, man. It's Octodad. Anyway, so, dude, I think I caught it, man.
What's that?
I think I've officially caught the Dota 2 bug, man.
Yeah?
I think it's officially happening. It's happened. It's happening and it's happened. I don't know.
It's good?
It's a good game. Just been playing a lot of it lately. I felt like it deserved a spot on the list.
Yeah.
But this morning, guy in the channel, thank you to Bowie, he actually gave me a Project Spark beta code for PC.
Yeah. So do you run Windows 8?
So I do not run Windows 8.1 on either of my systems, but I happen to have this Surface Pro 2 that runs Windows 8. And so I was like, well, this will be a true test to see how it runs as well. And it worked out pretty fantastically.
Yeah, because I got one of those a couple weeks back. I gave it to my roommate because I was like, well, I'm not gonna install Windows 8 for this fucking game, and he
Yeah.
already has Windows 8 installed.
So did he play it at all?
I didn't watch him play it, but I think he said he played for like an hour, and it was more of a build a game than like the game was building the game is how he described it.
That's correct. I mean, they take you through a little tutorial, and I'm trying to find the where it took me to the other one. So it takes you through a little tutorial. You create a character. You code, which they call code with a K, and
But I think with that there is still a pretty good, like there's a lot of depth to what you can actually like put to like a rock, for example.
oh yeah, oh dude, let me
Yeah.
say, just from the hour that I spent with it just this morning, the customization is already amazing. What you
Yeah.
can do is pretty amazing. They have you create a character, JP, and then what you have to do is your character, when you put it on this on the world, it doesn't do shit, right? Like
Right.
you have to actually go in and say they use a win-do system. So very simple programming. When you use the controls or WASD, do movement, shit
Right.
like that. When you press spacebar, jump. When you have a camera, always follow, stuff like that. So you actually have to program in all of the different mechanics of your character and any sort of NPC. Very cool, and especially for sort of aspiring game designers. I think that this
Right.
will sort of let people understand game design on a cool level that hasn't been done before. The thing that immediately I ran into that makes me go, whoa, was their microtransaction system and how this works.
What do you have to buy, like different assets?
Bro, half the shit that they've been demoing the game with, that shit's not free.
Oh man.
No,
Is the game free?
So wait, check this out. So you have to, and I'm going to try to explain it as I understand it, and I might be a little. I'll try to. So certain items in the game, straight up, it's like you need to have this or these coins or this bronze fucking shit in order to do it.
Okay.
No, I don't want that. Okay, I'll go and pick something that I don't. Then you have like a clock, and it says anytime you're playing or using content you don't own, this clock ticks down. That I believe recharges over time.
Okay.
So I mean, it just seems like it's going to be a nickel and dime building project.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not sure how what people create go into this equation. Right? If someone plays my level and then I get in-game currency for it, then as a builder that might not be that terrible of a thing.
Huh.
But it's really I don't know that I've even heard anyone really talk about it, but it's like the first thing I saw, and I don't know, maybe someone is I'm just going to fire it up real quick so I can find it exactly. But have you heard about this? I mean, right, we know that the microtransaction
I knew there were microtransactions in it, but I didn't know it was that prevalent. It kind of seems where Microsoft's going these days with a lot of Xbox One titles, at least thus far. I mean, you saw Forza, and that was just one of the worst integrations of DLC that we've seen thus far, where it was just everywhere. Like they actually I think they released a public apology for how
bad it was.
How microtransaction driven that game was. Yeah, I think like a week or two after it came out, I think they did that.
Okay,
maybe it was a month, but
so what I'm seeing here on my profile is that I have a clock that says 30 seconds. And I can't really show you. And then underneath my name, it says I have 300 of these tree coins. And
that game's not NDA'd, by the way, is it?
What?
Project Spark?
You mean to stream it?
Yeah.
Or to talk about it?
Both.
Fuck, I don't know.
Because I think you can.
I never saw an NDA thing pop up.
Yeah,
so.
I think you can stream/make videos of it. Just no one's streaming or making videos.
So then I go to purchases. Here we go, and I don't have any purchases, but add spark power. Oh, here we go. Required to play UGC containing content you don't have. So, okay, welcome to Marketplace. Search for, browse, and purchase additional content to play and create with. Earn credits by completing challenges and raising your Spark level. Purchase tokens directly from the Marketplace. Use credits and tokens to purchase content and Spark powered. Required to play UGC containing content you don't have. Oh my God.
So they have a lot.
30 days of Spark powers, 12,000 tokens, or 24,000 tree things. I don't understand this, man.
So
I think that you will be able to play this with a very limited tool set, and then you will have to purchase to really get in on making, I guess.
Weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, I totally.
Yeah. So okay, here we go, JP. Haunted Cornfield. To buy this, it's 700 tokens. I want to go and I want to see. I want to buy it.
How much what's the dollar?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. So I'm going to go buy with tokens. You do not have enough tokens. Would you like to buy some more now? Show me token offers. Okay, 500 tokens is $5. So I would have to automatically pay for 1,000 tokens to get that new land. That would be $10
for land.
So for 25,000 Spark token or 2,500 Spark tokens, I'm sorry, 5,000 is $50. Is this going to be free?
I think it's free to play.
It better be free
on the Xbox One. Yeah, if they're charging 60 for that, then they're charging the first thing right off the bat $10 for new land is kind of crazy.
It must be.
I don't know. That game was probably one of the more exciting things coming out of the E3 Microsoft press conference.
It's exciting. It's really cool. It's real neat and real easy to make it.
Shit.
But then suddenly, that's the cock block. The game cock block.
Yeah.
Hey, you want some micro tree? You want? Are you bored of this tree? We've got 50,000 others that cost $199.
Oh man, I hate that shit. It'll be interesting. Are they gonna allow users to sell stuff?
That's what I'm not sure about. You have sort of a workplace, but I don't know how that part will work.
Weird. I think that thing is entering Xbox One beta here in a week or three. I don't know the exact date, but I know it is. So yeah, I don't. I guess we'll just have to see what happens with that.
I mean, I
It
won't
is
play
a
this
little
game,
weird.
right? Like I'm interested in it because I think the world building mechanics and what they are able to do with it are really neat. And maybe someone will make something so amazing that I'll have to download Project Spark to play it. Like that's what I hope happens, JP. But honestly,
Yeah,
I'm not even sure this is something I give to my kid and for another year. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see when the Xbox beta comes out and let him put it on.
yeah.
Um, I don't
And I
know.
don't know if you get into that automatically if you have the PC beta. I'm not sure how
Someone
that works.
said you do,
Oh, okay.
but I have not. I don't know how to confirm that.
Yeah,
So
who knows? Who knows?
yeah. So anyway, Project Spark,
Huh.
very interesting
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah. Well, part of I guess to go along with your Valve connection this week with Dota 2, I've been playing CSGO a lot.
Yeah. And have you? I want a question right away. Have you gotten a lot of crate drops?
I think one. Like here's my thing with CS:GO. I have not seen or done anything that is like CS:GO-ified of CS. I haven't looked at these crates. I haven't seen what level I'm at. I haven't
You've just
I
been
don't even know
playing.
what CS:GO has to offer. I just fucking start the game and then hit play game and it throws me into a queue. And then of course I just play on Dust 2 because that's the only map that people play in CS. And I haven't deselected it yet. But yeah, that's I've just been playing the game and nothing else. One of my friends is never they played a lot of 1.6, but they haven't played a lot of FPSs lately. So they were like, "Well, let's jump into CS:GO." I feel like playing that. I think one of the viewers gave it to her, but it I don't know, man. It's actually a lot of fun. I haven't had that FPS fix in quite some time. And even though like the first game I was like real no, actually my first game that I played, I went like 24 and 5 or something like that.
JP
But
holding it down.
it was just the it was like I think that when you hit Q it throws you in like there's some sort of ranking system in that game. I think. And I think if you play 10 games then it finally ranks you. I have no idea. Like I said, all I'm doing is hitting play and I have no idea what systems are at work as behind the scenes as this goes along.
But you're
But
just
it's
enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused. They don't like my knowledge of CS is very 1.6 heavy, so like when they don't have the fucking MP5, but they have the MP9, I think is the same game or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
the MP5.
Yeah, the MP5's not in there. It
Oh.
does not exist in that game. They have the MP7 and the MP9. And then like when you first start playing, you have the M4A4, which is like a beefier version of the M4A1
Right.
without a silencer. And I was like, well, fuck, I want to change that immediately. Like, give me I want to be able to toggle my silencer on and off for fuck's sake. Like, this is CS, goddamn it. And I've still got that itch where like I'll hit 1, 3, and then just constantly hit Q to like switch back and forth to hear that knife sound. That's that's still there, and it sounds like the knife sound swishing out.
So you just it's like a little bit of nostalgia and a little
It is,
bit of
yeah,
just playing
it's a
an
little bit of
FPS.
nostalgia. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I enjoy the like the gunplay is still as good as it ever was in CS. So
How
I'm
is
having a lot of fun with that.
how's like the community? Like, in
Uh,
the games that you've played, like a lot. I haven't looked at the stats lately. I don't know how many people. I know that. Well, I'm looking right now. There was two
it
million
feels
unique players that last month, which is really great. That's pretty.
it feels a lot like it feels a lot like League of Legends, but in the best possible way when it comes to the community. Like we were playing the other day, and obviously my friend is not the best at the game at the moment, as you can imagine, not having played an FPS in quite some time. And they were like the team was getting upset because they were like 0 and or they were probably like 3-7 or something like that, 3-8, going into like the ninth or 10th round. And they were just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you so fucking bad? And my friend was just like, well, it's like my third or fourth game back. They're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Well, let's go B, and you stay in the back, and if you have the bomb, just drop it for us. And we were just like, oh, okay. Like they were accommodating, I guess is the best way to say that.
That's good.
I haven't met too many assholes yet.
Nice.
Actually, I haven't met any assholes yet. And even like the enemies aren't dicks. They're not like talking shit when you.
The bots, you mean?
What? No, we're not playing bots.
No.
Playing real people, man. When you queue, it doesn't put you up against bots. But yeah, we haven't met any dicks. The one thing though is that I have voice chat turned off, so I'm wondering if I turn that on, if I'm just gonna get like this earful of just like, go fuck yourself, you fucking like, what are you fucking doing? So I don't know. Maybe that's where all of this this nonsense that occurs is occurring, just because I haven't turned it off. But I'll probably continue playing that. It's fun to just be able to hop in for 30, 40 minutes and jump into a game and then be done.
Right. Exactly.
That's all.
No,
That's what I'm enjoying.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
They say you haven't encountered assholes yet. Let's look at the Steam growth chart that Max posted. Dun, 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 dun. We're about to see the power.
Was it spike?
Look at that 1.6. Just where's the point where CGS came in? That must have been. Well, Source never beat 1.6. Owned. So look at that. Not bad.
Let's see.
Not bad. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. This was the number of assholes in the game. Not the number of people playing.
Wow, that actually like
it's gone up, JP. It's
yeah,
surprising.
that's crazy. What was that big spike for? Was that during the DreamHack tournament?
It looks like that would have been right around sometime in December.
I think that was the DreamHack tournament.
Was
then.
it?
Was I don't know. Wasn't DreamHack at the start of December?
It doesn't have the exact date there, but I would say that it's somewhere right before December. Yeah, that must be it.
Apparently, Chad is saying that most of the assholes are on voice chat. So maybe I just made the right choice by turning it off and not communicating with my teammate and just my teammates rather, and just following them. If we get like a heavy B-side spawn on Dust 2, I'm just like, well, I guess we're going B, and everyone starts going B. I'm like, all right, let's go B. It is a lot of fun though, playing with someone that doesn't like. I'm just like, oh, they're cat, or oh, they're going long A. There's an opera long A in the pit. Make sure you don't peek. And they're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what is long A, pit, and an op? What? You just said like 3 things that don't resonate with me at all. Can you please use real words? And I'm just like, oh, no, you're dead, cat. You got to turn to your right. And they're just like, what the fuck, man? Tell me where they're at in things that I can see right in front of me. And that stuff just is ingrained in my head.
Right.
Or like...
that's hilarious.
We played Nuke the other day, and it was the first time for them ever seeing Nuke. And someone in the game was just like, all right, we're going squeaky door. And I just started laughing. Because my friend was just like...
What the fuck is the squeaky door?
What is the squeaky door? What does that mean? I'm just like... just follow. Don't worry about it. It's this door right here. It's squeaky because it makes a lot of noise. And like, but it's not making a squeaking noise. I'm like, just go with it. Who cares? but yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm having fun with that.
Well, I mean, it's speaking of just sort of having fun with games, it should be noted, and it's kind of a big deal that this week with patch 2.1, Starcraft 2, the arcade became free to play. And if you don't know what the arcade is, imagine it's like if you played Brood War, you played Warcraft 3, basically where Dota came from, essentially, is special games that people made that were not necessarily from Warcraft 3 itself. but were made using the same assets, and they've now made this available to everyone free to play. It opens up things like Starbow. It opens up things like Star Strikers to anyone and everything, and probably the hundreds of other interesting titles that there are available. But I'd highly suggest anyone who's never had a chance to get the client or play, now you have something free to play. They've added like an open games tab, so you can just hop into games, find out what's popular right now. But I've been playing a few here and there, and it's just really nice to see the activity grow. I hope they release some sort of numbers on, how many people are playing. And certain games have certainly increased in popularity, but there's still a kind of an issue with sorting and discovery of some of the best games out there. So it's one step in the right direction to go free to play like this, and the fact that you can play something like Starbow, which, guys, it's really amazing. It's kind of a mashup between Brood War and Starcraft 2, and it's really taking the sort of the Starcraft scene by storm. But it's just a fun, challenging mode. That's a different take on everything, and I've been playing a lot of that too. So pretty great.
Yeah. I have no interest in playing that, but I think that it's going to do one of two things. One, it's going to make StarCraft 2 accessible to much more people. Obviously, that's very obvious. But the second one is that it'll make Blizzard actually actively have to change things for the arcade. Otherwise, that's just not going to be something that flourishes, right? Like,
right.
They're going to have to figure out how to sort that. And I look at that and I see that as a gigantic test. Like, Blizzard's doing all these weird tests right now is the way I look at it. So with World of Warcraft, they've actually just opened up a store where you can buy a mount for $25 or a pet for $10 or some random
in WoW
important thing in WoW. So they have like small microtransactions there. Now with this arcade thing going free, right? They're like testing the waters with that. They're seeing how it does. They're seeing how the general population responds to something like that. Like, I don't know. They're doing something free to play big, and these are all small tests, is what I'm looking at. So I don't know if their new game is going to be like we're free to play, or like Heroes of the Storm is free to play, right? Is it not?
It will be, yes. I believe so.
So maybe they're doing all this testing for that then.
I mean, I assume that Heroes of the Storm is kind of going to just be a part of arcade. Like, I don't know how that's going to work exactly.
Right. And the other thing, too, with Heroes of the Storm is that they're actually releasing a map editor with it so that people can create their own maps, which just is really wild to me to hear that from a MOBA game. I don't know, though. Like, Blizzard's doing some interesting stuff. I'm very interested to see what they're going to be doing, a year or two from now, and what comes out of their announcements.
How much do you think the free-to-play arcade will bounce their needle? Like, do you think a lot of people?
I have no idea.
I mean, because like a lot of people in this day and age, JP, you dangle free in front of them, and they're like, "Yeah, I like free. Let me have some of that." So I don't know if it's like this ship has sailed, and these numbers aren't public, so I don't know if there's been like a boost in the number of people that have been on over.
One of the issues that StarCraft has and has always had is people hear StarCraft 2, and I think that game is so tied into esports that they're immediately turned off if they are kind of a League of Legends or more of a, I don't want to say casual, but someone that doesn't want to play a StarCraft 2 type of game where it is so fucking hard, right? Like,
right.
StarCraft 2 Melee is probably one of the hardest PC games out there right now, just to learn and to figure out the mechanics of, and to practice your own mechanics, et cetera, et cetera. So if they can get people past that, and they can make people understand that this is not your average 1v1, incredibly intense, incredibly nerve-wracking game that StarCraft to be. It's more of a lighthearted thing that has more funness in it, if that makes sense.
Right.
More fun elements to it, right? So if they can get that message across, then I think that arcade will do well. I don't know if they have thus far. There was a big Reddit blast about it. I know that this past week when it did go free to play, I saw a bunch of posts on on our games and our gaming that I think make it to the front page, and they probably got some spike from that. But we'll see. They have a lot of interesting ground to cover in terms of getting that out there and getting that message out there. I think that's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Let's talk about the other game that I'm actually really interested to hear you talk about because I don't have anything else. I did finish Call of Juarez, and it was great, and it's totally worth $15. But Banner Saga.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me about this thing, man.
I played some more last night. I'm probably about 5 hours in. I think the main campaign's around 12 to 14. My first session with it, I think, was a more all-around positive experience. Only because, like, you're immediately seeing this art in the game, which is probably the best aspect of the game as a whole. It's just this beautiful art direction of the game. It looks almost like a high-def Monty Python cartoon.
Dude, it's like, the way that I describe it is sort of, it reminds me of Don Bluth.
Yeah.
Like sort of his Space Ace, Dragon's Lair. Like it had a very specific look, and nothing really looked like it. And I don't know what it is about it, but it's sort of like the 21st century version of that to me for some reason.
Yeah,
not
it does
cartoony.
a little bit like HD Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
So the reason that I said that my first experience was a better one is because I was like learning all the systems and all that stuff. So my experience with it last night was one of the aspects of the game that is both annoying and also very cool is that in the dialogue options, depending on how you decide to do things, and there's a lot of them, like, I don't know, I probably made 50 choices last night in 2.5 hours, right? That have a pretty heavy impact on the game. So much so that if you make the wrong choice, one of your people may die, right?
Right.
And so you're actually pretty invested in the characters because of this, because you are making so many choices that you actually are drawn to liking a certain character more than another one. And in the example that happened last night, I won't say names or anything like that, but and I'll make up a hypothetical that will make really no sense. So say there's a rock beneath your caravan, right? And your caravan goes on this rock, and for some reason the wheel can't get over it. So the choices are like, well, you can have Bob go and move the rock, and then the caravan can proceed. You can have a group of townspeople move the rock, and the caravan will proceed. Or you could just try to get the mules, like whip the mules, and have them go over the or have them push over the rock and move on with the caravan. So first off, I hate Twitch chat because I was going to go with an option that probably would have lost. It's a give and take. Like, I would have lost resources, right?
Right.
But I wouldn't have lost his character. And then Twitch chat's like, oh no, you should go with choice number 3. And I'm like, I really don't want
no.
I really don't want to, but I guess so. And I hit it, and it's like, so and so goes to try to do something, but in the process dies. And like, I lose this fucking amazing character in the game. And it's hardcore in the sense that you can't get him back. You can't, like,
Right.
you could probably Alt F4 and reload the save, which a bunch of people were saying. But like, I chose, say, option A in my hypothetical. So and so goes to try to move the rock. Well, then the next dialogue tree is the very next one. Just put this very simple choice of him going to move this rock. So-and-so picks up the rock, and the caravan actually rolls over and smashes his head. He's dead. The entire party mourns. And you're just like, well, shit.
Damn. So it's brutal in that regard.
It's like, that to me is almost way too brutal. Like, there was nothing that, in no point that was I like, well, it's about that time I need to lose a teammate. And then I just randomly, casually, like, pick an option, and then the character is just dead after one click. Like, I wish there was more of a struggle to, like, losing that character rather than, oh, he's dead. Like in the first probably 5 minutes of the game, I actually made a choice. I don't remember what it was. I think it was like, do you want to save the townspeople? How do you want to save them, or something like that? And the choice that I chose led to a character dying that was apparently a pretty pivotal character, or sorry, awesome character in the game. And this was the first 5 minutes, and so I had one fight with him,
Wow.
and I never saw him after that.
And so you don't really have any idea what these choices are going to yield in terms of.
I mean, like that's the other thing too, and maybe this is just the sign of good dialogue trees, but like you start to look at them and you're like, well, if I do that, this game so far has made me it has hurt me for doing
Mess with
things,
my head. Yeah.
and it messes with your head. You're like, do you want to save these townspeople or just move on? And now I'm just like, fucking, we're moving on. Like, I don't give a shit about these townspeople. I have to worry about like my crew, my clan, and my fighters and my Varl, et cetera, which are all just different things in the game. But um, the dialogue is interesting to me because it seems very like coin flippy. Like you don't know what you're gonna get from a certain choice.
So I have a couple questions for you regarding some of the screenshots we saw, and I'm going to bring them back up. But are like here there's a conversation dialogue. Are these is any of the art animated, or is it all static 2D images? Because
Yes, they are animated, but it's very slight.
it's very subtle, because the animations on the field themselves are amazing from what I've
And
seen.
it's like that as well. It's like where, so I don't know what you're pulling up. I'll have to look at it here in a
Well,
second.
I looked at one that was just like a guy.
Okay, so here's that guy holding the axe. His name is Hakan. He's a Varl. You could know by the instead of actually having like Vikings horns, they actually have horns coming out of their head, and they're much larger than humans. Instead of taking up one square, they take up four squares. Just a little backstory. So like in that particular thing, his fingers probably like rustle on the axe every like 10 seconds.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
And he probably has his eyes shifting from like whoever he's talking to something off in the distance. And that's like how subtle it is. It's like two things of animation.
And is this an early access, or is this done?
This is done.
Oh, so I need to get all over this shit.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
looks so fucking cool, man.
To speak to the actual combat, it
Yeah.
seems, or it is very simplistic, but at the same time, it's also like a lot of reviewers are actually saying it's very chess-like, where you're not playing a game, you're actually making like super important decisions with every single move you do.
That's
Where
good. That's kind of how I feel like a tactics game should be. It's one of the reasons
Yeah.
why I like the Might and Magic stuff.
And it didn't dawn on me like I'm playing on normal, and all the reviewers said like the fight was just like fucking brutal, and I'm like, it's not that hard. Like I don't know if
Dude,
my character.
these reviewers are fucking guys that like have trouble beating the new Mario games. Like I just don't know what to.
It
They
is
look
hard,
at Dark
right?
Souls and fucking start sweating. They don't even.
It is challenging. Like I've had a lot of people die in my fights, but the penalty for death is not a heart. They're not dead like they are. Like your characters die from story dialogue trees. Your characters don't die in fights. When they die in a fight, they just have to rest for 3 days in the caravan, which uses up supplies and has like other impacts on the actual game. But it's very simplistic, but at the same time, very deep. Because, like, for example, the amount of damage that you can do, Wheat, is your strength, but your strength is also your HP. So if you get someone down to 1 HP, then that
They're
means
weak.
no matter what, they can only
So,
do 1 damage.
That's actually kind of like King's Bounty, Might and Magic, in that you have
Yeah.
stacks, right? And obviously, if you have a stack of archers that's 200, when he's versus a stack of archers that's the same unit, but he has 30, then you're gonna kick its ass. Like there's
Yeah.
no way it's gonna be. So
But
it's,
there's also there's two. So there's armor and there's strength. And now if you have a shit ton of armor and you go to, so say someone, I think this is how it works. I'm still a little bit hazy on some aspects of it. Say if you have 12 armor and you attack with 11 strength, I think that's only going to do 1 damage to them.
okay.
I think.
Okay.
And it also has a percentage to miss when you go to attack. So it's going to be like an 80% chance to hit or some
How
shit.
much tutorial is in the game?
Uh, the first 3 fights probably
Or like
are
tutorial?
tutorial based, showing you different aspects of the game. But later on in some of the other fights that you get into, they introduce just a new enemy type, like a ranged magic user or something like that. Like I just got into chapter 4 and they just introduced a magical character. But I haven't gotten to play him yet. Like they introduced him in the story.
Awesome.
And the other thing too with the game is that it jumps from 2 different storylines, and I would assume these storylines meet up together. But one, you're playing as the Varl, which are like these giants that are escorting a prince, the prince of humans, to the king of humans. I think he's a prince, eventually going to become king, to like this, to the hometown of the Varl, which are like the Vikings or whatever, and kind of this not peace treaty, but eventually there's going to be a treaty between the two once he gets there. So you're doing that aspect of that.
Oh, and then the other. Okay.
The other aspect is that you're playing as these humans, this father and daughter, who are basically running from this like big bad, right? They're running from this evil crew, and eventually they take up a small army or a small town. They save this town, and the town joins them, and you kind of are thrust into this leadership position with that, and that's the character's like dealing with that as he progresses through the story.
All right, now
So, yeah.
now it sounds like you're getting into spoiler territory, so I'll just like delete that last minute.
Well, I mean that's all the first opening of the game,
Okay.
right? That's the first 20 minutes of each side of the game. But yeah, it those aren't spoilers. What are you guys talking about?
You learn this first few minutes. I'm down.
Yeah,
That's cool.
you learn in the
That's
first few.
acceptable. That's
It's not like an hour in. It's like shit, guys. You're playing as someone else now. That's the game.
you
But
off.
yeah, I'm gonna definitely finish it. It's that type of game where I honestly want to go back and play through it because each character is different. They have their own special attacks. And I haven't seen a character that is the same as another character in terms of special attacks yet. So that's good.
So they all have a uniqueness factor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the guy that I lost last night, I was really pissed when he died. Because he was this giant, literally a giant of Varl that uses a 2-handed sword that just did like massive amounts. He was a huge glass cannon. And I lost him just because of a stupid decision that I took because of chat. I was real pissed.
Would you like to eat the piece of bread on the ground? Yes, you do, and a meteor falls out of the sky and hits him right in the crotch.
So that actually there's actually one of the things is like, well, the food store has gone bad. Do you want to throw out half of it? Do you want to throw out all of it? Or do you want to just keep going on as possible or going on as is? And I'm pretty sure if you go on as is, like you lose a party member, like someone dies in your group. So I threw out all of it, and I lost morale in the group, or in my marching order, or whatever the fuck it's called, my clan. Like there's a lot of give and take for all these decisions that you're making that have pretty heavy impacts on the game, which is cool.
All right. No more spoilers. You sold everyone on the game.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a break? When we come back, we're going to shift from now playing to sort of what's going on in the news, including a topic that I think a lot of people wanted us to talk about, that, of course, Shadow of Mordor. And then on top of that, Shadow of Mordor being accused of ripping off from Assassin's Creed 2. So
Saw that.
Curious to hear everyone's thoughts on this. We'll also be opening up the phones and all sorts of good stuff in the second hour. So don't go away. More 8-Bits coming at you after the break.